Oh, hello. Are you ready to do a shot mustache? Buckle up, friends. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to check out another video. We are here at the very rickety, creaky Felix 4 drawer, as we're calling it. Ready to do my July shot mustache. I'm excited. I am ready for this refresh. So if you don't know, I moved into a 500 square foot apartment, which I absolutely love the smaller space. Just gonna put that out there. But the only downfall is that you can hear like when the AC comes on or like the ceiling fan in the bedroom and things like that. So I have to turn all of those things off, and it is currently 88 degrees and I do not hold up well in the heat. So if I seem like I'm speed running this, that is why, because I want to turn back on the air so badly. Anyway, let's get into this without any rambling. I do have two things that I want to note before we get into this shot mustache. So the first one is I had been working on this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I do not like this. I've been a broken record about it. I want to get this out of my life, but I need a break from it. So this will be returning. You guys will probably see it. Oh, I don't know. I think I might need like a 2-month break from this. So don't expect to see this again until September. And then the other thing, I had out this Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten Color Correcting Foundation, powder foundation in the shade Fair. There's 20 grams of product in here. Who let me buy this? Who told me this was a good idea? This is going to take forever. I haven't even hit pan on it. I have used this so much. I actually like this. This is a really great powder foundation, but again, I need a break through it. I'm trying to be better about rotating through my items, not hyper focusing on things. And so again, I promise to you guys, I will definitely be picking out items that haven't been touched in a very long time or things that are new. So yeah, I will also leave link down below the previous shot mustache just in case you missed it and want to see what items were featured that time. But let's get on into this. Let's start over here with primers. So to replace the e.l.f. one, I only have 2 pore primers. So the other one that I have is from Benefit. I will be pulling this out, obviously. I really like this as a pore filling primer. I think this is great. It is one of those more like silicone-y primers, but I tend to like those. Like, I don't have a problem with them. I know some people feel like they can clog up their skin and cause breakouts and things like that, but I don't have a problem with it. The other thing, this has been in my shot mustache. It's my CoverGirl Outlast All Day Primer. I absolutely love this. I think it's my 3rd bottle of this. If you are an oily girl and you really want like the deals, you love to find like the, you know, hidden gems at the drugstore, I definitely cannot recommend this enough. I really think that this helps my makeup in the summertime especially. It's a great all year round primer. It's not like super hydrating, but in the winter time I find that it gives enough to where you don't feel super dried out. But in the summer it really does help to combat the oiliness. When the packaging is opaque, so I don't know how much is left in here, but when I pick it up, it feels very light. So I just kind of want to continue to work on this. But I am going to bring in another primer and kind of alternate between using this and the CoverGirl one. So this is still in its box. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I absolutely love this too. This is like my favorite high-end primer, and then the CoverGirl is like my favorite drugstore primer. So I'm finally going to allow myself to open this up, crack it out, get some use on it. I picked this up for half off during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. It was the only thing I bought, if I'm not mistaken. So that will be it for primers. So I do want to pick out a powder foundation. I got this around Christmas time and I think I've used it twice, but this is from Bare Minerals. During the holiday season, they sell like this big size of their powder foundation. There's 18 grams in here and I have mine in the shade Fair. I don't want to tip it all the way over because there's there's a sifter in here, but then it's just kind of like in the lid, as you can see. I don't think this will be too light for me right now because the Laura Geller shade Fair works fine too, like even in the summer. So I do want to pull this out. I think I have a frog in my throat. When it's super hot outside, I really like to wear the powder foundations. I just think they tend to hold up a little bit better. So that is what we will do. And then I'm going to pull out this CYO loose powder. I had been working on the Too Faced one, and I feel like I made some really good progress with that. So this is in the shade Clear, but when I open it up, you're gonna see that it kind of looks like it has a little bit of a yellow tint, but I never find that this oxidizes on my face or like changes the color or anything. So I think that's just, it's one of those like, it's translucent, but it looks like it's not, but it is, don't worry. So I had the goal to finish this off this year. I don't know if I will reach that goal or not, but I'm going to pull this out and at least, you know, get some good use out of it. This works beautifully to set my concealer and things like that down. So for mascaras, I don't have to pull anything. I still have my Milani, the Violet One Lash Primer is still kicking, has not died. And then I know in the last Shop My Stash, I said that I wanted to pull out this L'Oreal Air Volume Mascara, but I like came to my drawer because my Benefit Roller Lash did die, and so opened up my drawer and like my eye was just automatically drawn to my Milk Makeup Kush Mascara, so I just pulled that one out, and I'm kind of glad I did because it is my oldest mascara and I would like to, you know, use that one up. And then for setting spray, this bottle is empty. As you know, I decanted this into another bottle, but it's the not Oprah. Oprah doesn't have a makeup line, I don't think. It's the Ofra makeup fixer. So I know that you guys are probably like, Haley, please pull out a different setting spray, but I can't. If I put this back, it will take an act of Congress for me to pull this back out at some point and finish it off, and I just don't get along with this setting spray. So I really want to finish this off. In the bottle that it's actually in, there's like yay much of it left, so I think that by August we could have this finished and it would be great, and I will not repurchase it again, I promise. Okay, so let's talk about some lip products then, which is what is kind of like in this area of the drawer that you can't see too well. So in June, Tarte did their Build Your Own Beauty Kit. Now I don't always partake in it, but I do always look at it because if they have enough products that they're offering that I've had my eye on, then I think it is a good deal. I like Tarte products. I think that a lot of their stuff holds up well, is nicely made. Their downfall is that they put out a lot of the samey stuff, but either way, I did partake in the beauty kit. That's where one of these gifted mascaras came from too. Anyway, this is their Color Splash lipstick. It is in the shade Rum Punch. So this is a new product that I can't even open. Hold on while we pause for technical difficulties. Okay, I guess it wasn't technical difficulties, but I got this open. So like I said, this is in the shade Rum Punch. This is super pretty. It looks dark, like a darker kind of rose color, but I did already swatch this out earlier when I got it. It's not as dark as it looks to me. Like it's a little bit lighter, but do you guys notice a theme? Is this not the same shade as the Bite Beauty Honeycomb lipstick? I need to be stopped. I don't know what it is, but those lipsticks, man, they get me. So I'm gonna pull that one out. Also, I have just been in the mood for a berry toned lipstick. So I do have this one from Tarte. This is their Lip Surgeons Lip Cream. Mine is in the shade Illusion. This is what it looks like. This is not like a pencil where you sharpen it. It does have a little twisty cap here and it rolls up, as you can see. This is like it all the way rolled down. I've barely used any of this, but it is such a pretty, like I said, berry lipstick. And so I do want to pull that out and get some use out of it. I just think that'll play around really nicely with some of the eyeshadows that I've been working on. And then, so I am trying to finish off completely that Bite Beauty Honeycomb lipstick. So I have that one. We just pulled out two. I'm going to pull out one more lipstick. My goal with the lipsticks that I pull out during a Shop My Stash is to just at least use them twice. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but if I can at least use them twice, I feel better about, you know, having them. Like I did pull them out and use them. So let me think for a minute of which one I want to pull out. Okay, so I think we're gonna go with this ColourPop Lippy Stick. This is in the shade Who Run This. I don't know if you can see that little tiny label, and woo, that cap was hard to pick off. But this is like a very pretty like brick red kind of color. I am not typically like comfortable with this shade, but this does intrigue me. This seems very pretty, and so I think that this and then the honeycomb lipstick from Bite Beauty, that gives me a really nice variety of lipsticks. So really excited to pull those 3 out. Now let's move on to lip glosses. So I do want to pull out this Fenty Beauty gloss. This was from their holiday collection. This is in the shade Taffy Tease. So let's swatch this out. This is like a very pretty lip gloss. I don't know that this would necessarily go well with the lipsticks that we pulled out. However, this is really pretty on its own, and so that is why I really want to pull that out. And then one more lip gloss that I would like to use to get some use out of is, let's see here. I think we are going to go with this big guy from Makeup Revolution. This was from their Friends collection. It's the Monica shade. Ooh, that always happens. Like, so much product gets stuck underneath the stopper, I think. So when you go to pull it out, like a little bit of gloss just kind of goes everywhere. But here's what this one looks like. It's more of like a purpley pink, and I do think this will layer really nicely with those other 3 lipsticks. So let me clean off my hand, and that will be it for this drawer. All right, so this is a pretty fun drawer, I think. Okay, so for BB creams, I did have the Urban Decay one out, and I think I used that like a total of like 4 or 5 times, and I feel pretty good about that. So I'm going to pull out my older BB cream. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. I have mine in the shade Fair 4N in case you're curious, but I'm going to pull that out. I love my BB creams for like no makeup days. And then for foundations, I am going to pull out 2 that I have just been dying to use. So I'm still trying to finish off the one from CYO, but I have this CoverGirl Outlast Extreme Wear 3-in-1 foundation in the shade 810 Classic Ivory. And so then I'm going to pull out this from Tarte. I picked this up. Tarte was having like a little bit of like a sale on Ulta before they did their beauty like bag thing. So I had always wanted to try this foundation from them. It is their Face Tape foundation. I got mine. This packaging is super reflective, so you won't be able to really see it, but it's in this shade 16 in Fair Light Neutral. So then let's do concealers from here. So again, like I said, I did do the build your own kit. So I got this from Tarte. This is their Hydro Sealer concealer. I had my eye on this when I first saw it come out. I just thought this was like really, I like hydrating concealers, so it seemed like a good idea to pick this up. So mine is in the shade 12 in, which is just Fair Neutral, I believe. Yeah, 12 in Fair Neutral. So I think this will be a really good shade match. I always buy my concealers at least 1 to 2 shades lighter than my foundation. And then I do want to pull out the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. This is the matte one. I like the hydrating one better. The matte one's fine. I don't find that it like cakes up too terribly or creases or anything like that. It's just I prefer how the hydrating one feels and wears. But I do want to pull this out in the summer because I don't think I could like use this as much in the winter. I do have mine in the shade Fair Warm, which it looks pretty neutrally cool toned in here, but I have Fair Warm is always the shade I buy in the e.l.f. concealers. So that is the second concealer we will pull out. So now let's move on to our little cream basket here, if you will. I would first like to pull out this cream blush from not Bite Beauty, Rare Beauty, the Selena Gomez brand. This is in the shade Adore. Again, I don't know if you can read the label. Words, Haley, slow down, honey. Anyway, this was my Sephora free birthday gift, and I just think that it's probably going to look pretty dark and intense because I got a little too much product. But if we pat it out, this is just a pretty like baby doll pink kind of blush, and I absolutely love those shades. So I do want to pull this out and give it some use. And then I think too, I want to pull out this Milani liquid blush. I have mine in the shade 110 Nude Flush. This again is super pretty, but you guys know I much prefer potted cream blushes over like the sticks and liquid counterparts. Sticks would be my least favorite, then the like squeezy tube ones like this, or like the Rare Beauty one, and then Potted is my favorite, but I just think this is a really pretty like brown color. I know a lot of people are probably more drawn to the brown shades in the fall, but I absolutely love them for all year round. So those two cream blushes. And then I had been working on this liquid highlighter from ABH. This is the shade Oyster, but I got some really good use out of that. So I'm actually going to pull out this one from Cover FX. This is in the shade Rose Gold. That label is super like reflective, so I don't know if you'll be able to tell. This is a brand new bottle. If you caught my last update on Partners in Cream, I did finish off the shade Moonlight. So I am ready to pull this out. I think that'll be beautiful mixed in with my foundations and everything like that. Let me clean off my hand again. Okay, blushes. I did pull this out last time, but sadly I didn't get to use it. It's not that I forgot that I pulled it out, it's just I kept using other things over it, and it's a crying shame because this is so pretty. So this is the Cover FX blush duo in the shade Mojave Mauve. So I really think this is so pretty. I think this will layer quite nicely with the cream blushes that we have selected. I like the blush topper that comes with it. So there's the matte and then there's the topper. Very pretty. So yes, I'm going to pull this out and make note to use it. I am panning a few powdered blushes, so I don't know. I think I'll pull out one more and we'll call it done. And I think the one we will pull out is the one from Uden's. So this is from their Alwa collection. It's the Flower Blusher, and I have mine in the shade Water Lily. So this is super pretty. It's a little dark. I have to go in with a very light hand. I gave you like a very light swatch of it too, but it's one of those like brown based blushes, much like the Milani liquid blush. So I just think it would be super pretty. So we're gonna pull that out. And the last thing I want to pull out is technically a blush. However, I think I'm going to use it as a powder bronzer. So it's not still in this packaging. It's actually in this like empty e.l.f. packaging, but I just wanted to show you. So this is from Addictive Cosmetics. This was just a little sample that they sent me when I made an order from them. It's in the shade Cowgirl Up. Maybe you can't tell from in there. I will actually have to open this e.l.f. one. This is a very pretty blush, but as you can see, it's pretty brown based, like a little too dark for my skin tone. And it's a little glittery, so I don't know if my plan will work, but I think I'm going to try to use this as a bronzer. I think it will work, and there's not too terribly much like product in here. So I think if I do go in with a light hand and try to use this as a bronzer, I could have this finished off, and this would be a blush out of my inventory, because even though it's a sample size, like it takes a long time to use up like powder blushes and things like that. So this would be another blush down, which would be amazing. So that's all the blushes we will pull out. Let's now move into highlighters, okay? So I did last time have out this Uden's Solomane palette, and I feel like I really didn't touch these two shades, but maybe you can tell there's a lot of disruption in the pans on these two shades. I absolutely love these two, so just wanted to quickly note that. But as far as like what we will pull out for right now, I want to pull out this one from Fenty Beauty. The packaging is super reflective. This was from their like a holiday kit. It's in the shade Fenty Glow. It is one of their diamond bombs. I think this is like a cream to powder highlighter, but I can't really, I don't know. I go back and forth on trying to decide that. It looks a little bit dark in the pan, but once you put it on and like blend it out and everything, it is quite beautiful. In the viewfinder, it looks like that swatch is not really showing up. It's kind of like a pinky brown highlighter, but it's not like, I hate saying brown because you would think like, oh, if you put like a brown highlighter on your face, like that's not gonna look good, but it really does. And it has like little micro glitters in it. It's just super pretty. So we're gonna pull that guy out, and let's do one more highlighter, I guess. So this is something that I got around the time of my birthday. This is a Milani highlighter duo. So it's in the shade 110 Supercharged. Now, if you have this, please let me know. One of these is supposed to be a cream and one is a powder, but they both feel the exact same to me. Like they both, neither one of them feel like a cream. They both feel like very nice powders, but there they are. So obviously one is more of like a white shift and one is more of a pink shift highlighter. Hopefully you can see that. And then there's the pan. So we will pull that out. And then still working on my CYO bronzer, but I do want to kind of like change it up a little bit. I had pulled out the Too Faced one last time. I love this Bare Minerals one, but I think the shade will be too light for this time of year. And then, oh, side note, I did finish off my powder from this Wet n Wild compact, so that's kind of exciting. Anyway, back to the subject of bronzers, Haley. I think what we will do is pull out this BH Cosmetics Belgian Waffle palette. So this has some highlighters in it, but it also at the top has bronzers. Now this shade Buttermilk I use as a like face setting powder. Batter and Cinnamon I use as bronzers. So I'm going to pull those two out. And that will be it for this drawer. Okay, so I went ahead and quickly, like off camera, went into the very bottom drawer, which houses like loose eyeshadows and things like that. Oh, Jasper, it is not the time to be barking, friend. Anyway, I wanted to pull out my Natasha Denona Chroma Liquid Crystal Eyeshadow in the shade Zone. This is so beautiful, and this just gives me such summer vibes. So it's like gold, but it has like reflex of red and like some glitters. It's just super pretty. So I definitely want to pull this out and get a lot of fun looks out of that. And then as far as palettes go, with the camera, the way that it's sitting, I can't really open this drawer all the way, but I know what's in here. Like I know what I'm looking for, you know what I mean? So the first thing I want to pull out, this is the ColourPop High Tide palette. This is really pretty. For like, usually their 9-pan palettes that are monochromatic don't really catch my attention, but this one did. These are the kinds of like blues that I'm drawn to, the more like green blue shades, and I like that this seems really well balanced for their monochromatic color stories. Like you do have the nice blues, the teals, and then you've got some nice grays over here. The shades that really call my name are this first one, which is Just a Splash, and then we have this one, which is Currents, and then Must See right here. So let's look at these. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Like that right there would be a really simple like 3-and-done eyeshadow look, don't you think? So yeah, I think this is super appropriate for summer. So I definitely want to pull this one out. And let's see here. I want to pull out, oh, there's one that's like down in here. Let me kind of dig for it. Okay, so this is from LA Girl. This is from their main stage collection. It's the Desert Dream eyeshadow palette. My mom picked this up for me. Now the mirror is massive, so I don't want to blind you guys. And I know like that High Tide palette is kind of like leaning very blue, but this is so pretty. I have used this a handful of times since getting it. Oh, this performs so nicely. Like the formula of this, like LA Girl ain't playing. They are coming for you. They are coming for you. High-priced eyeshadow palettes. That's what I'm trying to say. But this shade right here is so pretty. And I just think that this would be a great companion palette for that High Tide palette. But this is like, it's like a duochrome shade. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, but it shifts from being like blue to silver and then almost to purple. Very pretty. So can't wait to play around with that some more. And yeah, I'm just going to allow myself to pull out however many palettes my little heart desires to play with. And look, even if I only use them one time, it's still using them one time and it makes me super happy. So the other one that gives me a lot of summer vibes is this Juvia's Place Nubian Glow palette. And I think you can see why. This is very orange. Very pretty. I think this is a pressed glitter, so this is the only shade from here that I haven't used. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but this shade up here I have like pulled out and used time and time again. This reminds me of Electric from Subculture, but kind of more yellow based. Still really pretty, so I am excited to pull this palette out. And again, I think that the oranges and like the yellow in this palette will play really nicely with the blues from those other two palettes that we pulled out. Okay, so I had to go and grab this. In my like basket of palettes, I currently just have my Fantasy Self palette with Laura. I have my Menagerie Killer Purr and my ABH Jackie Aina, which I'm trying to decide if I want to pan either of those. And then I have the Sweet Pinks palette from Juvia's Place. And I also had this Lorac Pro palette, the Noir one, living in my basket. And so this has like been my current go-to like favorite neutral palette. So I want to continue to play around with this. I have used this so much that I've already hit pan in this white diamond shade. Hopefully you can see that. This is beautiful as like an inner corner or topper kind of shade. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to be aware that this is currently living in my basket and will remain doing so for a little while longer. Then this morning I was watching Danny's most recent pie pan and everything update. I'll try to link that down below for you. I don't want to give away any spoilers in case you haven't seen it, but go check it out. She's been working on her Juvia's Place palettes, so I'm going to blame her for wanting to pull out these Juvia's Place palettes, but this one is the Tribe, and I just think this will be so pretty for right now, and I absolutely love this Coral shade. I love it on its own. I love it as a topper. It is just so pretty. You can see. So pretty. Absolutely love it. But yeah, I think that this will be great. I also think that maybe I have pretty good dips in these two matte shades, and then I have a pretty good dip in the Coral shade. So I don't know. Maybe we would get some pan out of this, but the name of the game right now is just rotating and feeling better about touching all of your makeup. So I also want to pull out my very favorite, my #1 Juvia's Place palette, the Festival. I just cannot get over this. I know that usually this isn't people's favorite palette, but I absolutely love it. I love this hot pink shade in the middle, which again has a really nice dip on it. Maybe you can see right there. This does stain your eyelids just a little bit, but it's so pretty and gives me summer vibes. And then surprisingly, I also really like this matte red shade up here, and mixing it with the pink is just, ugh, love doing that. So the only shade that I really don't like from this palette is the blue like shimmer shade Abba here. It's very pretty and kind of disheartening, but it doesn't blend out well. So yeah, that's the only like dud shade from this palette, but excited to pull that one out. Okay, so one more palette we will be pulling out. I have not used this one in a long time. This is the Melt Cosmetics 420 palette. I know a lot of people didn't like get along with this palette. They didn't like it. I don't think it got very good reviews, but I really enjoy it. It is like a great grungy palette. It is a mostly matte palette. There is only one shimmer shade right here, but anytime I've used this, I have like never been mad at it. I like the way they blend. I like the way they perform. My favorite shade is this Hash shade right here. So yeah, I will swatch that right there for you. It's just kind of an unassuming like taupey kind of purple brown color, but it is beautiful in the crease, and it really can take the look to the next level in my opinion. Like it just pairs really nicely with so many different things. So this will be the last palette that we pull out. Now let me get my act together and we will go reorganize the makeup drawer. Let's do this down here. Okay, so that is it. That is everything for my Shop My Stash. So I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a good day, a good night, a good whatever, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.